Good Wednesday evening. Welcome into the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. I am Randy Rosetta. We do this 3 nights a week in the fall, and tonight we are going to jump right into the Westerner Fan Zone as we're going. I will remind folks that we've shuffled the deck a little bit this season. Wednesday nights like tonight, you're going to start off with Lubbock High, followed by Friendship, then Lubbock Cooper. Mondays are going to be Estacado, Memorial, and Liberty, starting at 6 p.m., wrapping up at 7:30. Tuesdays are Monterey and Coronado, starting at 6 and finishing up at 7, so I can sneak out of here to go watch a little bit of volleyball once in a while, and then I can try to breathe on weeks like this that are short and it's hard to catch up. Coach Juan Rodriguez is down there to my far left. I want to make sure I get these guys right. I'm going to have them introduce themselves by voice here so you can hear them.
Denzel Robbins.
Octavius Ruiz.
And Octavius is becoming a media star here. He did a video with me the other day for HubCityPreps.com. We're going to get him. He's going to be media savvy by the time we're done with him on, right?
Extremely talented young man.
So you've been coaching for a while, and I know Labor Day is. You were a teacher at one point before you were coaching full time. Does Labor Day mess you up a little bit too, just by disrupting the routine?
No, not necessarily. I think maybe, in years past, I think we've tried to figure out ways on what we can do to make it okay for a certain extent. But what we decided to do and what we've been doing is really just stay on schedule. It's a regular Monday practice for us. It didn't change. We come in so early in the morning that we start before everyone else, we feel like. And so 5:30 in the morning is when the kids shut up and we're ready to roll by 6.
You're better than me then, because I still don't know what day of the week it is. and then that may just be a normal thing, no. So.
Well, yeah.
The Westerners had reason to be up early and going at it because they came off of a very strong performance. It wasn't a win. They got beat by a very good Hereford team, 42-35. I've got the stats up here in front of me, though. I mentioned this last night that we're going to start something this season on the Fan Zone. We're going to name a Fan Zone Girls Player of the Week and a Fan Zone Boys Player of the Week. So we'll go ahead and pull back the curtain here and say that Lubbock High running back Bo Davis is the Fan Zone Boys Player of the Week after a huge performance. 241 yards rushing. Let me count them up. 3 touchdowns?
Yes, sir.
3 touchdowns. Just a huge – you guys have put up numbers in the past, and Braden Dunkerson led the city in rushing last year. I don't know that I remember the last time a Lubbock High young man ran for 240 yards, though. That's been a while.
I honestly wouldn't be able to tell you when the last time that was. I know that I asked about it. I can't remember the last time possibly that we were up for a player, one of our players being up for the player of the state.
Yep, it's
in
state
Texas. So it's a big honor, but it's definitely a testament not just to him but to all the kids that are around him and to our coaches and our entire program. So he emulates everything that these young men put in and day out, and they're hard workers and they're great kids. We got a baseball game on the screen in front of us. A lot of times you hear when a pitcher's got a no-hitter that they don't know what's going on. They don't know how well they're pitching. You guys, did Bo know how well he was running? Did he know that he was having a big night? Or did you guys have to tell him afterwards?
I think he was just trying to do his best for the team, We try to put an emphasis on playing as a solid group instead of just focus on individual performances. So I think he was focused on just doing his best, trying to move the ball for the team.
Because Zach Raden also had a very solid night. So you guys, it was more than a one-man show. The one-man show shows up pretty good, but like you said, it takes 11 guys on both sides of the ball. Defensively, you gave up some yards, gave up some touchdowns, but again, that's a very good. Did Hereford run a spread?
No, they're really a 2-back, but
Okay.
they're able to run some spread just because of the type of skill kids that they have, and obviously their quarterback is someone that's going to do and have a great season for them. So he's really good and is able to get out of the pocket, shifty, able to do some things. But and Octavius can tell you, we back and watch film. We're really a step away, or maybe 2, from really not allowing maybe even 2 or 3 of those touchdowns that took place, just because we were just not necessarily out of position, but just youth in general, and just being able to make great angles. And that's something that I know our defensive coordinator and his staff focused on this whole entire week.
Sounds like you're talking about a first game.
That's really it. With a lot of youth, we're really a young football program and a young football team. I think it's evident that we have a lot of juniors and sophomores surrounded by some great leaders in our seniors. But I think Denzel's class and Bo's class is definitely one that is working really well together. And I've said this before. This is probably the first time in my career where I can't really tell who's a senior and who's a sophomore.
It's a good sign.
So that's always a great sign that you're no longer rebuilding a team, but you're getting close to being, you just had those words, that we're getting to be a program now. And we're excited about that.
Piggyback on that, Octavius, what did you guys do well defensively that you liked against Hereford? I know the points and yards don't look great, but what did you like about how you guys played in that game?
I liked how we stopped the run game. It was good about like everybody doing their job. Everything was on point in the run. It's just a few mistakes that we could improve on the pass. We could work better on, but with the run game, I think that's where we did the best.
I've gotten to know that dude down there at the end, and when he talks about defense just missing little bits, when you look at that on video and you hear a coach tell you that, does it kind of make sense when he says if you were just right here, it's a little bit different?
I really don't understand the question. Can you
when coach points out how close you guys were to making a play, does that kind of get in your head like, okay, yeah, he's right. If we do this and this, we'll sharpen up, I guess.
Yes, I do see little mistakes will fix us 100%, and it just comes with time. I feel like the first game, everybody has nerves, and I think we'll just improve every game.
So Coach knows this. I've got some inside information. I've had a Rough Rider there on the sideline and a wife there in the stands. The thing that and she got home and she told me this, and it was almost like dog bites man. She said, man, Lubbock High played hard, and they never quit playing hard. I imagine that's something that's a wife saying that, and my wife knows her football, but when you hear people saying that about your team, how much pride does that give you, Coach?
It gives me a lot of pride, but again, it's more along the lines of we have surrounded ourselves by a bunch of great kids, and I can't say enough about my staff and our coaches and our community and the support that we've had throughout the last couple of years. We're turning a corner, and I think that's how the kids feel. I think we feel that way, but to hear that, we've always had that fight. And I think I said this on the radio, we've always had that fight. But to have that fight and to have the ability to put points back up, even being down by 1 or 2 touchdowns, it definitely shows the resilience and the work that these young men have put in, because they've put a lot of work in throughout the summer and the spring.
It shows a lot of growth the last few years. Coming up on a break, Westerners play at Big Spring 7 p.m. Friday. We'll talk more about that when we come back in the Westerner Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Breaking down Lubbock High sports. This is the Westerner Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into the high school fan zone on a Wednesday night. We're in the Westerner fan zone right now. I mentioned right before we went to break that the Westerners are on the road, correct? At Big Spring.
Yes, Big Spring. Mm-hmm.
On Friday, about the Memorial Stadium down there. That's a lot of history there. A lot of you guys have played them a bunch the last few years. That's become a fun little back and forth with them. That is one of several games on the schedule. I'm going to run through them here in a minute if I can ever find them. I'll try to go off the top of my head here. I know Thursday night Monterey is at home against Abilene Wiley. That is at 7 p.m. at Lowry Field. That'll be on 93.7 The Eagle. Coronado is at home on Friday against Lubbock Cooper, and that'll be on Tuesday. So it'll be right here on 100.7 The Score for the Lubbock Cooper broadcast and 96.9 The Bull for Coronado. Friendship is on the road at Wichita Falls Memorial. That'll be on Double T 97.3 FM. Liberty is at home against Idalou, 93.1 Yes FM. I mentioned the Westerners. Estacado is, I'm trying to think here, I believe they're up the road at Hereford. They get a chance at the Herd.
Yep.
Up there at Whiteface Stadium. That's on a radio station down the road a little bit. Make sure I bounce around in my head for a second. The two big Christian schools are Trinity Christian's off. Lubbock Christian is at home against Sundown. That is the HubCityPreps.com game of the week, and then the 6-man teams are both at home this week. KPA is at home Thursday night at Warwick Memorial Stadium against Anton. Christ the King's at home against Amherst at 5 p.m. on Friday. I think if I forgot anybody, please kick me in the shins if you need to. It's a busy schedule, and there's going to be plenty of games to watch. I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse here. I won't be there Friday for your game, but I'm looking forward to your Thursday game against Snyder. I've gotten to know their coach a little bit. He Reminds me of a younger version of Coach Juan Rodriguez. He's got a lot of energy. I'm going to skip the energy question with these guys this week. We it's like usually a weekly thing where I get you guys to talk about Coach, but then he starts blushing and I embarrass him, and we don't need to do that. Juan, before we turn the page to Big Spring, just overall, what did you like about what you saw last week against Hereford?
Oh gosh, I think I can pinpoint so many different things. You know, one of the things, and you know, it's fair to say that I've turned a lot of the X's and O's over to our young coaches, and watch them. I've become more of a consultant to their defense and offensive schemes more than anything else, and I enjoy watching our kids. But to take what they practice and to constantly see that performance on the field, knowing that our kids are extremely teachable and coachable. And that's why I said what I said. These mistakes that we made won't take long to fix, just because I know the coachability of our kids, but I also know the tenacity of our coaches in ensuring that they're going to make sure that these things get fixed. So around all that, schematic-wise, that's extremely encouraging for a head football coach to see, you know, their hard work coming out and just being able to see that on a Friday or Thursday night is definitely great things to see. And I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg with our kids. I think there's some exciting times for Lubbock football, and I think we're really excited about that. And I think that's why I'm staying a little bit more level-headed and keeping sure that I'm more calm, because I can't get as excited as I used to because I'm getting older. But I think when Bo scored that first one, and just watching how we played defensively at times, and just watching just the way our offense performed was definitely a blood pressure medicine time.
Got a picture of you on our photo gallery. You got excited at least once.
A couple of times.
We got a pretty good picture of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Octavius, what has this week of practice been like? Coaches talking about the things you did well. You've got a road game coming up. What's this week of practice been like for you guys?
Week of practice has been amazing. We've been all working hard on trying to fix the little things right now. Just slowly improving. Just get all the mistakes out already. Get ready for the game.
What about you, Denzel? Have you tried to talk to Bo about making sure you guys get the ball a little bit more through the air?
Yes, sir. I think we're getting confidence in our passing game more, because in practice we've been passing the ball a lot more. And I think we're just coming together as an offense, because this last game against Hereford, you could kind of tell some plays we would get kind of frazzled if it was we had to make a clutch play, or if we would get selfish at sometimes, you know, like tempers would flare or something. But I think this week in practice, we've come together as a team. So
it helps to have Zach back as a second-year starting quarterback. I don't know, you can't overvalue that.
No, you can't, and you really can't overvalue the fact that, you know, Zach's ability to run the ball.
Yes.
And I think it's going to continue to open up some of our run-pass option game. I think with Bo running the ball as well as he is, I think we're going to be nothing more than just excited to get down and throw the ball a little bit more. Because I think at some point you're going to have to load up the box and put a stop to him. So definitely exciting times for our offense and defense.
Denzel's grinning over here.
Yeah, he is, Coach.
Coming up on a break, we'll be back right after this in the Westerner Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the latest news from Lubbock High Athletics. This is the Westerner Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into one more segment of the Westerner Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. Let's talk a little bit about Big Spring. I just read a little report about them. They lost El Paso Riverside, and that game was a little bit different than some. They gave up the first 24 points, and then their defense tightened down a little bit. What have you seen about them on video? I'll give you all three. You can jump in on this. What about Big Spring on video has your attention?
Well, I think for me, watching them is, at least from the defensive standpoint, you know, and I'm watching their defense. They're great technicians. They do a really great job of playing their technique, you know, and that's something that's impressive about when you watch kids do that, because that means they're disciplined, you know, to do things like that. So I think that's important to know. I think offensively, their multiple sets are going to always give us issues, or they do some things that are just a little bit different than what we saw last week, but not entirely different. You know, offensively and defensively, again, I think it's their D-line that has some speed. I think they can create some issues for us. But I think we'll still be able to establish a run game, and with the skill kids that we have, I think we can be able to exploit some of that as well. So it's been 4 years since I've ever said that.
I will vouch for that.
I usually normally don't, but I just know how our kids have been working this week, and I'm extremely confident in the fact that they're going to fix those mistakes they talked about on defense, and they're going to start working more cohesively together on offense. And a lot of it is, I'm going to venture out to say that we have a lot of weapons on offense. We do, and we can't say that it's just Bull right now. I think there's still a lot of kids that can just he's just the icing right now, and the things that he was able to do last week. But we also can't run him 30 times a game. We're going to have to throw the ball. We're going to have to throw it to our receivers. It's a long season, so he's got some good backups too. But I'll let these guys kind of venture in there, what they think about Big Spring and so forth, guys.
Well, before that, Coach talked about it. Bo running the ball that way, how much can that kind of open up the passing game?
I think it goes both ways. I think Bo running that well opens up a lot of opportunities for Zach to be able to throw the ball. Zach's a great quarterback. He could throw it. And I think vice versa, us passing the ball opens up Bo being able to run the ball really well. So I think our offense works really well together, just bouncing off each other.
Octavius, you can talk about Big Spring. You guys got tested by Hereford. You saw some different things. Coach was talking about Big Spring maybe do some similar things. What do you feel like you guys have to do well against Big Spring?
What I feel like we have to do well is ability to just focus on our jobs, stopping pass, trying to get them uncomfortable of what they do best. And I feel like after all that will happen, it'll be easy.
Those mistakes the coach has you working on, that's what good coaches do. They get you ready. Offensively, what do you guys have to do? What do you have to ratchet up even more against Big Spring?
I think, like Coach Ross said, they have a lot of speed on the D-line. So I think making sure we protect Zach while he's dropping back. Receivers, we got a block for Bo. Make sure we're locking on our blocks and keeping it. I think we could honestly, we have a lot of weapons. Like, we have a lot of people who could take over a game. It's not just one person. So I think whoever we need to take over the game that night, I believe that they could do it.
Coach is right. I've known him for 4 years now. That's the first time I've heard him say things like we've got a lot of weapons or we can make these adjustments. That's been a long time coming. It's been a process.
Absolutely.
You were talking in between the breaks. Why, with this group, are you able to say those kind of things?
Well, I think it's a lot, their work ethic, and my son, I know if he was listening, he would say, you probably said, I think 100 times that, because he likes to listen to my conversation and mark down the words that I actually repeat. So I know for a fact that they've put a lot of work in. They put a lot of work in the spring. But I think our coaches have been able to reflect on some of the things that we've done in the past. We took some things into consideration even in the summer. From morning workouts, we pushed them down to the afternoons because we knew that a lot of our guys had to work. Being able to make those adjustments. One of the things that I'm really proud is some of our kids are able to recognize where they went wrong, and they felt that they didn't have a very good second half start. So we implemented a halftime break into our practice schedule. Took things away, but to keep them on time. Our kids are the ones that we need to put in a halftime coach. We need to come back out and have a better team segment if we're going to have a better second half. So for our kids to have an input on that, I think it shows the growth of them as individuals and as young men, and to have active participation in our program.
Is your son going to critique me too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Tell him. I want to know how I did. My daughter won't listen, so somebody's got to.
Yeah. Neither just my wife, but
we're going to wrap us up on the Western Fan Zone. Reminder: Lubbock High goes to Big Spring Friday, 7 p.m. We'll be back after the break in the Tiger Fan Zone talking friendship football.